Welcome everyone. I was predicting yesterday what this Fed would choose or say actually won't have a bigger impact on the price of Bitcoin, and now we can see how the price just went exactly to look the 115, and after that it just went up. Like it didn't really care. The worst case scenario was pointing is to go to the orange lines, but this wasn't the case. And the best case, we were going just to look the bottom of the consolidation we have already for a few days. So yeah, as you can see, there's nothing to be worried. Many people was calling that, many people was being scared, and they were selling before and that. Could be true, but the influence wasn't that big either. So I just think was just the normal thing the market is doing, is just selling and buying, and hopefully you didn't sell because there is nothing to worry, and the Fed has been all the time holding and holding and holding and holding the cutting rates, which is something quite interesting because also that make more expensive to pay the debt of the state. And like Fred is also pointing out here, the US debt and money supply are both growing and just under 7% a year. China is 10%. So it's nothing to stop the trend. And that is what you need to understand about Bitcoin. Like like just having the target to 150 is like really conservative because this has been already, this is just a chart from 2019 and have been just going up and up and up and up and up and up. And there's nothing that can stop that. So if you want to protect yourself, the best way to do it is through Bitcoin because you're gonna go to 250, you're gonna go to half a million, you're gonna go to a million, gonna go even more because the fiat Ponzi scheme, fiat just going to zero, and there is nothing to stop it, and you need to understand that. That's why you stay early, you're not late like everybody's calling. Yes, you have expensive price, but I think everybody get the price they deserve. Or unfortunately, in some cases, you didn't have any chance to, or you never hear about it, and now you're interested. So you still early, you don't need to worry about it. Um, and something interesting talking about the Fed, something that Ropal is mentioning is that really the higher interest rates stay, the more they have to inject via liquidity to finance the debt, which is what I was saying, that actually the higher the rates are, the more expensive it's going to be to pay the debt. So they need to inject more liquidity and the higher asset go. It's simple that why? Because the debasement they doing to the currency. It's just simple as that. So there is still a lot to come, and you need to prepare of that. I don't want to talk too much about Bitcoin now because I wanted to do this video just to check more what Ethereum and other altcoins are doing. But yesterday, I got some private message about how you can, which was a good question, how you can um, predict when consolidation will happen. And there's something I want just I forgot actually yesterday to mention in the video, but I want to show you for you to know how you can predict that. And it's pretty simple. If you want me to share the indicators I do use, subscribe, like, and comment in the videos, and I will be doing a particular video for that. Um, we can see how actually the line of strength were in the negative area. I call the negative area when we are below this horizontal line. We're in this area, and then we start to have this trend line in a positive direction with enough and good time, which the time I mark it through the green valley. We have the massive explosion all the way to this area. That was the 14th of July, and then we have this big stop of the rally. I call it bit stop of the rally because the absorption of the candle is not even in the middle. It's even they have a like 80-70% is eating. So with this correction we have, or the stop we have of the rally in the daily, pay attention to that. I check in the daily. The daily, um, I did mention already yesterday, it is gonna always show us time frame for the next 2 weeks, the next 10 days, more or less. So once we see that, this bit stop rally candle, we go to the 4 hours and we see what actually price did. We're gonna have more information on what actually happened. And if we go to the 14, so we see how the rally was massively coming. All the way from here, we went all the way up and up and up and up. And you see, we used to have this way up, tiny consolidation, up, tiny consolidation, up. But here we did have no, we didn't have any consolidation. We also, you can see when we start having this rally and consolidation, the string of line was positive and the time of the valley was perfectly. So we still have time and we have positive string in this line. But at the time we were already having this stop rally candle, we went already we were already losing time. We didn't have enough time anymore, and we can see it through the green valleys. We were getting already over since here, actually, since this area. Since here, we start going down, we start to lose momentum. You can see how we go. We don't go in parabolic like in this area over here. We start to have a little bit of break, and then we just start to go into a negative um, straight line. So we lose completely the momentum there. And then when you see this sell off, and the volume is very important. For that, it's really important. The time, the price, and the volume. These are the three key things to keep in mind. And we see how to drop. But it didn't went to zero. It went almost went to balance with the orange line. And from there, there's something that's called fractals. With what we see in the small time frames, we will see it in the big time frames. So that's why I want to analyze the 4 hour chart. And from them, we see already all this what I'm commenting you. And that is ignoring the RSI because the RSI I was calling that there was already overbought all the time. I was calling that in the daily. And then we start to see OTs and the drop we have um was important drop, but like I'm saying, holding the orange line. So then you start to see the straight line also going in a negative direction with forming this valley. So when we go into the negative direction, it means the straight line is not strong anymore. So it lose momentum. No? And that's how you can see that even if the red valley start to see now counting that it could be like the negative side uh, of timing, we don't have any powerful strain, and that's why we can see that we're falling into this constellation, and we have been in this constellation for days already. So now after the Fed conference, the question is what's going to happen now. We still haven't break, and the my projection is still the same. We're just going to go up. Like I was saying, you can see the time, the negative side, it will come, the red valley will come, but I don't think we're going to make a green, a long or big red valley. I think we're going to make it something smaller like this, from even like this, we can make something like that in this week. Also, we see how the strain line is going into the negative area, and now it's going below the horizontal line, which is really important because once we create this tiny, if we form it, if we form a tiny red valley, the time's gonna be really little, and after that, we're just gonna go up, and we can see it. Let me see in the 4 hours. Well, yesterday, it just went to here, it got absorbed, and now we're going up. Another question is what's gonna happen in the 4 hours? It's really simple. If you here, I will go to the 1 hour chart and then try to see if you want to trade into futures. Now, if you just thinking long term, I mean, this is just noise. You don't need to pay attention. But if you want to collect more sats, if you want to have some extra profit, of course, always managing your risk because you can also lose everything if you're trading in futures. You need to be aware of that. Just play with money. You are fine if you lose it. Um, Let me show you. We already have this confirmation. This is a simple playbook. We have this combination of this bullish diversion, and we have also this absorb candle. So if you're wondering what's going on in the next days, remember next days we're talking about the 4 hour chart. You need to have clear what actually the time frames are. It's something nobody explained about it. That's why you I don't know if you, I guess you as well, for that you're here, but that's why one of the reason I was always so confused because I didn't know how the time frame works and nobody really explained that. It's like a secret in crypto. Like nobody teach that, but like everybody know what's happening in the weekly chart or in the daily chart, in the 4 hour chart, but nobody explained that. So hopefully this help you a little bit to have idea of what the chart, because once you notice it is a game changer, or at least for me it was, then it's something I want to share with you because I want that you grow as well with me. And you have better idea, and like this, you don't gonna be absorbed by the market. So if you like this that you have learned right now, I will appreciate you like and subscribe to the channel, and of course, you can also be more than welcome to share it as well with a friend or someone that you think it may be interested. Um, so that's pretty much for Bitcoin. I don't have much more to say. The direction is one, and we're just gonna go up. That is the yeah, whatever happened, I just see that we're going in that direction. I'm just gonna change the color. I think green is fine. I'm just gonna go over there. Now I just want to talk about Ethereum as well because I haven't seen that much. And in the 4 hours, we're forming exactly the same. We have this bullet diversion over here. The best area was to boy was around here. We have this um and this is something you need to pay attention as well. If you want to make some trades, forget about what you have. Like if you're new to the market, just let me know in the comments. I really would like you guys to help me to know and I have an idea who is um, watching my videos. Because if you don't have an idea how to form a portfolio, and I would like to help you with that as well. And I'm gonna create a video also because I did have Rob. He was writing commenting and really open to and sharing, which was really nice from Rob to hear some questions he have about how the portfolio works and I saw his experience in the market since last year, if I'm not wrong, and that's why also I want to create this. I was replying to him. You can go and check it out in the last altcoin video. I want to know what you would like me to teach you as well, and what you are interested in seeing that you haven't found yet and you would like to learn. For raw, I would like to also take your portfolio as example. I'm gonna make a video that when I have a little more time, I think something like next week, I'm gonna try to answer to or take a sample your questions because I guess this is like pretty basic questions many people could have. But if you want to do trades and you want just to take advantage of the market, one of the best way is for future. You don't need to confuse yourself with futures and spot because spot is just something you're gonna buy, you're gonna hold. Could be for 2 weeks or for month or for year. This is where the time frame come again. If we talk about the daily, it will be like you buy for spot um, for holding for the next 2 weeks. It depends on what the 2 weeks the market does. You sell or you buy more and the same for the weekly. If you want to buy a really good price, you just buy it, hold it for having the time frame of a week, and then the next weeks you will sell. And the monthly, but actually you never sell. But yeah, I will explain that in another video. So the best way during the trades to take advantage of Ethereum was in this area, in the 3,600 to 680, well, 700, let's say. Um, Now here is not the best area to enter, to be honest, because we can have a retracement, a small retracement, but in the 4 hours, potentially we're gonna go and break it, smash this for 4,000. I don't see why not. Just remember, because we already have this correction. We already have this correction to here. The time is perfectly good. Also, the straight line is in a negative position, but we still have time. So I don't see why it should not go. But remember, this is just probabilities. It's not 100%. But how I see it, I just see it that in the next days, we could see Ethereum smashing those 4,000. Let me see in the daily really quick. Let's notice. Yeah, I still bullish. You see, still it's not in the negative. Yeah, it's losing a little momentum. I have been calling all the time that maybe we're gonna be forming this consolidation, but we could be in the 4 hours smashing the 4,000. I can show you just to F everybody who is and have the stop loss up there. We could be doing something like this. Let me show you. Just to come and F everybody. So we could go like this, make it higher, we break into 4,000. So everybody's thinking they're gonna go to 6,000, we're gonna go to 15,000, and there's nothing to stop it. We come, which is completely natural after breakout, and then we go up. But by the time already liquidate all the people here. So yeah, just keep it in mind. But in the 4 hours, like I was saying, is bullish, and you should not be worried. And the worst case scenario, it just will continue in small consolidation the 4 hours and won't go up. But I do see it like we're gonna break sooner than later. Now, I want to before check the other ones like XRP, Solana, Near as well, something that Row and having his portfolio. I think you still have it, no? Um, Let me know if you still have it. I want to check the total too, because with this one we're gonna have a better idea in the daily what actually is gonna happen. And this is referred to the 120, 25 more or less icons taking out Bitcoin. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you need to the total too. See, yeah, pretty much what we entering right now is also a consolidation. We are already in the consolidation this area. Let me just frame it. Let me just frame it. Here we can see. And actually, it's really interesting because we just went exactly to do what Bitcoin has been doing the whole time. We just went to the bottom. I mean, not exactly the bottom, but we went to the closest to the bottom. And now what I see in the next days or weeks for the altcoins is just to go up again. So the icon's gonna go up, gonna go to the moon. Not really. I mean, they're gonna go to look for this area or potentially this area over here, and then going down as well. Probably we're gonna continue that consolidation. So just keep that in mind because probably you're gonna hear that in 1 or 2 weeks, somebody like gonna be making another influencer is gonna be making a video of analyzing how we enter that or see in that moment that we are in a consolidation. But what I'm this is the difference of what I was pointing to you before of predicting because I'm seeing this consolidation from now, from today. Let's see what the others gonna say later, but they at the end they're just analyzing what happened today, but 2 weeks after. So for me, make not much sense. I prefer to have the predictions. And remember, it's just possibilities. Most of the predictions, so according to all what I have been testing out in many years already, are like 80%, 85% they work. So I haven't found anything better that works with the predictions I have been doing. Is some can go wrong? Yes, but that's the way to learn. If everything's just going positive, you're never gonna learn. I did learn like making lots of mistakes. I did learn like making a lot of mistakes. I'm gonna talk in another video about them because also it's important to share. Everybody just think that someone just learn and never have any mistake, you never get burnout from the market and everything. No, I mean there's so many things that happen, so many non-negative but bad things that happen, and nobody really tell you about it. So, in my experience, so something for you to, as well. I share this to you for you to also to have an idea that there are some prediction that can get wrong as well, and you need to accept them. That's why it's so important to manage your portfolio and your risk because if you're gonna be trading, for example, I'm gonna give you just a quick example. If you have $1,000 and you want to be trading, I would recommend you just try with $50 or 100. If you have a position of 10,000 or 50,000, then you can play around with 500 or 1,000. That would be nothing if you lose it. But you need to be aware that there's the possibility that you lose it as well. And that depends a lot of the leverage you use it. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. And hopefully I did not confuse you and you're a little more clear. But I do think that icons, or at least the first 125, they're gonna go up in the next days. Remember that. And now let's go and check XRP, how it looks. Um, this is in the daily. We still have time to the downside. You can see how the trend is coming down. So potentially we're gonna just make a tiny consolidation, go into this area, and then and the 4 hours, but I don't see it really bearish. And the 4 hour is going up. So in the next 2 days, 3 days, we're gonna go up. You can see it's the same pattern I was mentioning before, right here. The same for Ethereum, the same for Bitcoin. Let me see for Solana. Solana is exactly the same. I don't see that is bearish at all. We have this bullish diversion. So yeah, it's just gonna go up. Near, let me see. Near looks a little different, but I do also bullish. Why? I don't only check in the valley if that's what you think I'm doing. I did mention before to you the price, the time, and the volume is important. And in this case, we can see how the time is running out, and now we're going to start a positive direction, which would be the green valley, and we are in um, the strength line have some strength over there. So to enter to a position, when we're closer to this orange line, I never recommend that. Well, potentially we're going to break it, so just keep that in mind. And now just would like to check link as well. Let's see. Link is exactly in the same position than near. And let me see the daily. But we are in link. We're already reaching. We're already reaching. When I check 4 hours, I'm just checking for doing small trades for 2 days more or less. So don't get confused with this. Yeah, we're already reaching this area. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend to enter there because the best opportunity to buy was down here in this area. You're never gonna reach the 16, but at least 17, and then you can make a little bit of percentages. Let's see, like 17, it'll be already 6%, and then you do leverage 10x or 5x, you will have much more. So the daily, let me see. Yeah, daily just taking a cool off like the others. Potentially just a tiny consolidation. The worst case scenario, going to this area. I don't see it. They're gonna happen, but just for you to keep an eye. Hopefully, with this video, you have more clear. That's what I always try to do, and hopefully you get absorbed with a little bit more information for you to help to navigate the trading area and the future side. And let me know if you like videos like this. I will appreciate you like, subscribe, and see you tomorrow, guys.